This here is the Zeekr 7X, the new luxury electric SUV from the Chinese brand, and it has some amazing opulence on the inside. It has really fast charging EV technology, and let me tell you, it's pretty impressive when it comes to the drive experience too. Stick around and you'll find out a bit more about it in this review. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring the bell. Let's take a look at the 7X, hey? It's not clear yet what the 7X will cost when it comes to Australia, but if I was going to hazard a guess, I would say the entry-level point would be around $70,000 up to just under 90 grand for a high-spec version. That's just me guessing based on what I've been told and based on a few different things when it comes to this car. Now, there are 3 different versions of the 7X available in China, including an entry-level rear-wheel drive model with a smaller battery, but then there's 2 other grades, including a mid-spec model that's rear-wheel drive with the big battery pack, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a sec, and then there's a performance all-wheel drive version with off-road mode as well, and air suspension and plenty of other features too. That's this one here, and it costs a fair bit more in China. So it could be that we'll get 3 versions down under. We'll have to wait and see, but I can't wait to tell you more about it. So hit subscribe and ring the bell, and I'll do a review of this car when it arrives in Australia that you'll be able to check out. But let's talk about some of those competitors that this car could be going up against when it gets down under in 2025. It's a mid-size SUV with 5 seats. There are plenty of those on the market in Australia, starting at about $45,000. So there are plenty of options out there if you're looking for something a bit more budget. But if you're thinking that you want something that is more luxurious and a bit more premium, well, you might want to go and have a look at something like a BMW iX1, which is a smaller car, but it has fully electric powertrain technology, and it's really luxurious in a lot of ways. There's also the iX2 if you want a coupe style model. It's, again, much smaller than this. And if you are thinking about a more practical 5-seat model in this sort of price range, I reckon you could take a look at the Skoda Enyaq. The rear-wheel drive version of that is really impressive. Starts just under $70,000, and there's an RS all-wheel drive for about 85 grand, which does seem like a decent option, but I think the rear-wheel drive one is better. If the Skoda's not quite your style, then maybe the Cupra Tavascan will be. That is a gorgeous SUV, plenty of wow factor on the outside. It's got that coupe profile, just like the Enyaq, and it does have a really sumptuous interior too. Very practical as well, and expected to be priced from $70,000 to $85,000 too. So it could be another fantastic choice. Would you choose any of those, or would you wait for this? I think it might be worth waiting for in terms of seeing what it's going to be priced at, but let me know what you think. The 7X is a little bit larger than some of the other mid-sized SUVs in this marketplace, just on 4.8 meters in length. So it is a pretty big unit and a wheelbase of just under 3 meters. So yes, it does have gorgeous proportions. It kind of reminds me of the Aston DBX, but a bit more sophisticated and a bit more understated. But tell me what you think about the design of it in the comments section below. I'll put the dimensions on your screen now so you can see just how big it is. Remember, it's only a 5-seater, and that might be something you want to keep in mind because it's not the most practical use of space. But let's have a look in the boot and see what kind of space there is on offer here. I think the button's just there, and you can see here there is 616 litres of cargo capacity in the back with the seats up and to the ceiling. You've got lots of little practicality elements like these shopping bag hooks. There's a 12-volt port, a light there, and you've got some controls to adjust the seats on that side. Underneath here you will find that there is storage for cables and so forth, and there's another storage section underneath there, so that makes it a very practical option for family buyers. Lots and lots of space in the back of this electric SUV, so it could offer better use of space than I made it out to have. Oh, totally worth noting, you do get a big frunk in this vehicle too. So you've got 62 litres of cargo capacity in the rear-wheel drive versions and 44 litres in the all-wheel drive. This is the all-wheel drive. I still think that is plenty of space to play with. Okay, so this is your point of view perspective of what the 7X is like on the inside, and I have to say, luxury, yes. Quality, yes. Ticking those boxes, and the technology factor is good as well. So you've got this big touchscreen media system here with the expected menus upon menus, but with also plenty of controls for this car in terms of, you know, if you want to open the boot, there. Charging point, there. All the windows, there. There's sunshade there, and there's plenty of other menus and configuration to this screen too. You can even fold in the mirrors automatically if you want to, and there's plenty upon plenty of menus. I can't read it, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on what is available here, but yes, you can see for yourself it's got a very high-vis camera system with 3D effect as well, and you can get a bit of a curb view too. So all of that, including an auto parking system, pretty high-tech feeling stuff, and you've got climate control on screen as well, and you can see there that it is a adjustable system like a Tesla in some ways in terms of interacting with it. I'll just turn it off and hopefully it'll be a little quieter in here. And there's also a bunch of little buttons down here, but one of them is your glove box, so that's pretty neat to see. And there's some other stuff down there like opening the boot too. A volume dial there so you can turn up the audio, and a pause button if you want to press it down or play it. So that's pretty neat to see. Wireless phone chargers right there, 2 of them, handy. Underneath you've got some exceptional space with USB charge ports, and here you will see there is a covered center console bin with cup holders. Move the key out of the way and you can cover that up if you're not using it. Back here you will find that there is a bit of a strange opening. This side doesn't open from this side, you have to open it from there, but let me show you what's in there. A little fridge. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Very high-tech stuff, and I think that that is the theme here. It does feel high-tech, it does feel luxurious, and it does feel pretty special, I have to say. You've got the illuminated vanity mirrors so you can check yourself out. You've got shade controls for this massive glass roof, which is excellent, and the material finishes all very high-end and luxurious. Now, one thing I really like about it is this ambient lighting system around here, which is a laser etched finish, and it's really beautiful. It runs all the way to the back seats as well, and actually let's check out the back seats, shall we? All right, let's talk space first. So this seat is set for about my driving position. I've got heaps and heaps of knee room, fair bit of foot room as well. And the headroom back here is pretty good considering it's got the big glass roof. You've got the expected amenities like grab handles, lights, and there's speakers up there too. It has a 21 speaker sound system, this car. There are vents over on the sides here in the pillars. There's little map pockets too. And down here you've got some climate controls as well, but this system is not working right now. So let's have a look. There we go. You can adjust your seat heating here if you want to. And there's also massaging for these seats. There's a fan system so you can ventilate the seat as well. And you've got just so many different things. This is your ambient lighting color selector. It's just phenomenal how much stuff is on offer in this backseat experience here. You can control the media system from there. And as you can see, I changed the ambient lighting. Just have a look at this as well. This is one of the party tricks for families that is just going to be a game changer, I reckon. Look at this. There's a hidden screen in the back of this seat. And yes, it's a very quick screen as well. Your kiddo is going to love this. They can have a look and talk to the little AI bot or whatever it is. And there's games and all sorts of different stuff on this screen, TV as well. And if you don't want it there, you can just fold it all away. It's very spectacular stuff. Now, there's another thing up here that I want to talk about, right? This right here is a camera that can keep an eye on the kids in the back and feed a view up onto the screen there. So if you want to, you can have a view of the kids in the back without having to take your eyes off the road or as much off the road. And there are integrated sun blinds in the windows as well. So that is a really smart piece of family-friendly tech. Let me tell you, you, the family friendly factor here is very, very good. There's plenty of space. Yes, you've got ISOFIX points in the window seats, top tethers as well, and it's going to be a super family friendly option. There's a little storage tray in there too. I guess the other thing is you need to keep in mind that you've got some pop-out cup holders there as well. So plenty of really practical elements to this car. Really, really comfortable back seat, and it also has electric adjustment. So I can slide the seat forward if I want to. There we go. It's all a little bit slow, but you get used to that. And I can also recline, so it is a much more comfortable experience. So this is going to be a really fantastic, luxurious experience in terms of the interior design and finishing. Wow, I like it a lot. Now, there are two different versions available. The rear-wheel drive models have a single motor producing 310 kilowatts, 440 newton meters of torque. And then there's the all-wheel drive versions like this one right here, which has a staggering amount of grunt, 475 kilowatts of power, 710 newton meters of torque. And I'm going to put some 0 to 100 times on your screen now so you can see, yes, the all-wheel drive is a performance SUV. And yes, it does have a bit of zest to it. Now let's talk range and charging. The 7X is built on an enhanced 800 volt electrical architecture, and it has two different options in terms of the battery technology. So the entry-level battery is the second generation golden battery. It has 75 kilowatt hour capacity. It's an LFP battery, and the CLTC Chinese rated figure for the range is 605 kilometers. That is quite a bit of range, but it's also quite a lenient measurement. Now, the LFP battery is boasted to be one of the fastest charging batteries on the planet, 10.5 minutes to get from 10 to 80%, according to the brand. And that's obviously dependent on you finding a fast charger that is capable of doing those kind of speeds. Now, the longer range variant carries the so-called Kirin battery, 100 kilowatt hour NMC battery pack that extends the range out to a staggering 780 Ks on the CLTC figures. And it has a 15-minute charge that can increase the range by 546 kilometers. This is your charge port location in China, at least. And this isn't what we will get, obviously. We'll get a Type 2 combination plug in Australia, and I reckon it will probably still be on that position, which is the curbside, which would be good for our market, especially if you park on the street. I'm just going to do a short drive of this 7X because there's not much opportunity to do much longer than what I'm doing right now. And let me tell you, I have to say that instantly it does have the luxury factor feel to this drive experience. It is plush feeling, it sits relatively flat, and it does have pretty soft feeling steering. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's not necessarily overly direct in terms of the steering feel. It does have one of those weirdly shaped steering wheels as well, so it's a bit strange to hold on to, but you will get used to it. And I think that it's going to be an interesting offering for people depending on the spec you choose. I think that's a really important consideration as well, because there are a few different versions available, including one that's really, really, really fast, as I told you about, 3.8 seconds to 100. That is phenomenally quick. There's no doubt about that. This is that car, so I'll just give it a little squirt. Yep, yeah, that's plenty fast. There's no doubt about that. It is fully electric and all-wheel drive, so it's got that push you into your seat feel to it. And I think that it is going to be a pretty compelling choice if the price is right. And that's the big consideration, isn't it? Okay, so I've just lowered the suspension down to make it a bit more focused on road driving. It was set into the highest mode for off-road style driving, and that does have a bit of an effect on the drive experience. In the high mode, it feels like it's a bit wobbly and bobbly, whereas lower down, it sits a little straighter and just has a bit more of a controlled feel to the suspension. Now, obviously, whether we get air suspension on all grades is TBC, but if we do, it's a pretty nice system. Seems pretty handy and nicely adjustable too. Obviously, there will be a whole lot more to tell you about the Zeekr 7X when I get a chance to drive this SUV in Australia. And if you want to be notified as to when that happens, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell, and you will be told when I get a chance to do my review of the 7X Down Under, because I think this could be a really important car for this brand. Seems to be pretty impressive in terms of the drive experience, but obviously Aussie roads are a bit different to the parking lots of Chinese racetracks. There's obviously a lot more to tell you about the Zeekr 7X, including the safety stuff, the warranty details, the ownership promise, and plenty more, including the pricing and specifications, which will be vital for this car's success in our market. Tell me what you think it should be priced at in Australia. I'd love to know, and make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell. You'll be notified when I do my Aussie drive review, and you'll be able to figure out whether it's going to be the right car for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.